Hey, so I wanted to give you some updates into what's going on with the Iran conflict right now and how that's impacting mortgage rates right now. Because there's been a lot of volatility that's been happening right now in the markets, and it's definitely something that you should be made aware of if you're in the market to purchase a home or even sell a home right now. It could definitely impact some of the decision making that's going into your next move right now. So, our office put together a quick overview as to kind of what's impacting mortgage rates and what to expect coming up, because it's something that you definitely want to be aware of. So, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this quick little overview here, just so you can get an understanding as to what we're seeing, what we're looking at, and how best to make your moves and decisions as we go through this conflict, right? So we really hope that everyone can find peace somehow and be able to move through this crisis or conflict quickly as possible. So right now, what we saw at the beginning of the week is that we did see mortgage rates spike pretty substantially in one day. 30-year fixed mortgage rate, surged from 5.99 up to about 6.3%, and that's the largest one-day spike in quite a few months. And this is a little bit opposite of where rates typically move in the event of a crisis that happens. So typically, if there's some type of financial crisis or geopolitical crisis such as this, such as war, interest rates typically like to trend down. And the reason being is because, investors typically take a flight to safety. They typically want to take their funds out of, the equity markets because of the, unpredictability and put them into a more of a safe haven asset class such as bonds. And that's what mortgage rates are all backed by is the bond market. But what's really creating this kind of tug of war between if rates are going to continue to increase or if they're going to fall is the fear of oil prices increasing. And so what's kind of driving this tug of war, like I mentioned, is the inflation. So that's one of the main metrics that the Fed is looking at when they're deciding if they want to cut rates or if they want to increase rates or keep rates steady is they look at inflation. And so, as a result of this crisis, the oil prices jumped up pretty substantially. So, because of the U.S., Israeli military strikes against Iran, the oil prices have sharply went up about 5 to 10% in oil prices. And that is what is leading to a lot of or fears of inflation. And that's kind of what the feds and a lot of lenders are looking at. So markets are going to fear that any sustained energy price increases will keep inflation elevated well above the Fed's target. The chain reaction is direct and powerful, and geopolitical instability in the Persian Gulf definitely, disrupts any oil supply expectations, and that this is what's feeding directly into consumer prices and ultimately into rates, going up or down. So the Fed had plans this year of cutting rates a few times, but because of these events recently unfolding, their fear is more of inflation. And so instead of cutting rates, they're most likely going to just take a second look at if they're going to be cutting rates because of their fear of inflation. And that's really what's causing this tug of war of if rates are going to continue to rise or if they're going to fall in this event. So, because typically, like I mentioned, rates typically fall in the event of a crisis or some type of conflict such as war. Like I mentioned, fear of sustained energy price hike will keep inflation elevated. Fed cuts are evaporating just because of their fear of the inflation and due to higher oil prices. So if you're thinking about locking or doing anything right now, definitely visit and talk with your lender so they can just get some advice and to see where rates are at right now. It's been a little volatile for these last few days, and I expect that it will probably continue to be a little bit volatile as we move through this conflict. But I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I'll go ahead and attach this presentation here for you so you can take a look at it and just reach out with any questions, and we can help you make the best decision for you moving forward. All right. Hope you have a great night. Take care.